Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. This is Ify Artistry. If you're stopping by for the first time, you are most highly welcome. Okay guys, so in today's video I'm going to be working on this my gorgeous client. Okay, so I start off by cleaning her face with my micellar water and angel wipes. Okay guys, so I'm gonna clean the face thoroughly to remove any hidden dirt from the skin. Like you guys know, you don't leave any dirt on the skin. You have to clean thoroughly before you actually start the process of the makeup. Okay guys, so after that I'm going to be moisturizing her face with my Cetaphil moisturizer. I'm going to just put the moisturizer generously on her face to make sure I give the face a hydrating finish that it actually needs. And remember, you have to moisturize the skin. It's really important that you moisturize the face before you start doing makeup. Don't just say that the client has an oily skin. Whether the client has oily skin or not, the skin needs to be moisturized. It needs the hydration to actually for the makeup to last all through the day. The skin needs the hydration. Okay guys, so after that I used the Melon Skin Prep as the first primer to actually control her sweat. So after putting that on her T-zone, I'm going to be using my fan to dry it off. Then after doing that, I'm going to be using my Becca primer to prime her T-zones as well. She doesn't have an oily skin, like she only produces oil on her T-zone. So I'm going to be using the Becca primer all over the place to just prime her face. So after doing that, I'm going to be spraying her face with the Kiss Beauty spray to actually set everything at place. So moving on, I'm using the foundation, the Jaydriz Cosmetics foundation in shade 03 and shade 07. That's the two shades of foundation I'm going to be using for the client of today. So I mix the both of the shades together to actually achieve the nice undertone, her skin undertone. So after that, I place the foundations on her face and then blend into the skin. Remember, you have to really blend your product into the skin very well, like thoroughly. And while doing that, if I notice that there are some places that I have not blended very well, I'm going to still go back to my mixing plate and get more products. Okay, so after blending on the foundation on the face and everything is really well seated and very nice, I'm going to be moving on to the concealer now. I first used the Yanga Beauty concealer in shade 02 in the inner corners of her face for the highlights product. And then after doing that, I'm going to be using the Zikel Cosmetics concealer in shade nude and the outer corner. So the Zikel concealer is a bit darker than the Yanga Beauty that I used. Okay, so using the both of them, I'm going to be blending that with my beauty blender. This beauty blender that I'm using is really very soft and very damp. So like I soaked it in the water and make it damp to be able to use it, like it's wet. Okay, so after doing that, I'm doing my contour with the same Jaydriz Cosmetics in shade 08 and 07. I mixed both of them together to get my contour shade. So I just blend that into her contour, use that to actually sculpt her face, basically just sculpting of the face around her forehead, and then her cheek contour and so on. And then when I place that on her face, I'm going to blend with my beauty blender. Okay guys, so moving on, I'm going to be contouring her nose bridge by placing the same contour shade, make it like using the contour shade to actually make a white shape, and then use my beauty blender to blend it in. Okay guys, so moving on, I'm going to be using the lip stain from Becharmageless Cosmetics as her blush shade. So I love to use the two lip palettes, lip stain. They are lip stains, not lip palettes. So the two lip stains, the pink shade and the red shade. So like I mix both of them together. If you have been watching my videos, you would know that I mix both of them together. As I just love that particular lip stain as blush. They give me what I want. Okay guys, so moving on, I'm going to be so when I put the after applying the concealer on the face, I left some parts, especially the ones in the inner corner, the one that is a bit lighter. So I don't just, you know, go ahead and blend everything at once. I leave them there to actually give me some coverage, you know, on the under eyes. So at this point now I come back and now blend everything in. So after blending in, then I'll start presetting with my setting powder. So I'm using the Merak Cosmetics setting powder in shade Ginger to preset her under eyes. That is what I'm doing right now. So when I'm presetting the under eyes, I'm going to be taking it like gently. So like I use my brush to do that. If you are using beauty blender and it works for you, that's fine. So I use brush to actually set the under eyes, and like that's what works better and best for me. So I would really urge you to do what is best and what works perfectly for you. Okay, so like after setting the under eyes, like I move on to set her jaw, her forehead with the same method, you know. Just I place the powder. It's light-handed, like I'll have to be like really light-handed in doing this. I don't go and pack products there or, you know, like pressed in. I used to be light-handed. I don't push it in so hard. Okay, so just set, nothing really much. And after setting, then I'm going into my powder palette from Jaydriz Cosmetics. I'm setting the rest of the face now. So under her contour, I'm going to be setting with her powder shade, like her exact powder shade. And then after setting with her powder shade, I'm going to now be setting her contour with the contour shade, like because the contour shade is actually different. So I love to set the contour with the contour shade, set the highlight with the highlight shade. So like I don't go into the highlight with a contour shade or go into the contour with the highlight shades. I just love to leave everything as it is, you know. Then after, I'm going to set the blush with the shade of the blush. So I don't go and mess up. If I just set everything with anything, that means I've messed up with the blush I did earlier to start with. Okay guys, so after that I set everything. I've set the blush and all that, and then I move over to the brows. I already used my brow tamer to tame the brow hair down. Actually, my client doesn't have hairs. She doesn't have hairs. Like, this is the first time this is not the first time I'm working on her, but I've worked on her before. But like, she really does not have, like, the hairs she actually has, they are really fancy. Like, they are really fancy. You wouldn't be seeing anything basically. So, but at the end of the day, I still have to do what I have to do. She has brows, but it's like they don't really show. So I have to basically outline the brows myself. It's just as if I was not working with any hairs. Like, it's as if I'm just doing it myself at this point. But I still have to do what I got to do. So moving on, I'm going to just, you know, I already done with making the down outline. So I'm making the upper outline now. I already know what I should do and where I should be going from. When I'm getting to the arc, just bend it down there, and, you know, by the grace of God, I formed something really nice. But like I'm telling you guys, one of the best ways, or the best ways to actually draw brows, is following the brow hair. Like, when the person has hairs, like brow hairs, follow the line and do it. It's going to give you a better and more sweet brows than, you know, trying to outline yourself. When you are carving brows, carve something that is going to help you out. Don't go and do rubbish while carving. If you do that, you are going to really be stressing yourself at the end of the day while you are trying to make outline, you know. So if you carve and, you know, you help yourself, I bet you're going to be doing yourself a whole great deal, you know. So guys, after doing that, I'm going to be filling in with the Davis pencil in shade 003. And meanwhile, I actually outlined the brows with the Merak Cosmetics angled brush and the brow gel from Yanga Beauty. Is it Yanga? Haga and Esther, sorry, not Yanga. From Haga and Esther in shade Nubia, I guess. Okay guys, so after doing that, I'm now concealing the brows with my flat brush from Merak Cosmetics, and then with the concealer from Zikel Cosmetics, I'm just outlining the brows, or just cleaning out the edges basically, because the brows is actually neat. After drawing, I make sure I draw a neat brows. I don't draw anyhow line and then after I'll be killing myself with the concealing. So I try as much as possible to make sure that my outline is actually very neat, so that at the end of the day I'll just have to just basically clean out, do like the finishing touches. I wouldn't be doing so much work at the end of the day to outline, to conceal, sorry, not outline, to conceal the brows now. So that is it. So I'm doing the concealing now, and that is it for that. Just enjoy the process and watch me do my thing. So guys, after that, so I went ahead with blending and setting the concealer with my powder, and then I went ahead to conceal the upper part of the brows. And then, so guys, during the course of this makeup, like the NEPA was dealing with me. The power, they were bringing the power and they are taking it, so a lot of videos were caught and all that. Okay guys, so moving on, I begin to now bake because I was about to do the eyeshadow. Like I said, I do baking when I'm ready and set to do my eyeshadow, because that's when I catch the fallout and all that. Okay guys, so I'm using my eyeshadow primer from the Benai Clone White. So I'm just gently applying it on the eyelid, on her eyelid. So after that, I started making my transition with my eyeshadow palette. So I'm using the Blossom Cosmetics eyeshadow palette. I use the Blossom Cosmetics eyeshadow palette to just make my transition, nothing much. So my client actually requested for a very simple eyeshadow look. Like, she gave me a picture of what she wanted, is this simple and nude look. She didn't want something more. So I'm using my powder palette for this eyeshadow. Like, I'm using my powder, just a shade from my palette. I didn't want no shouty colors, no nothing. It's just like something so simple and so nice and so beautiful at the end of the day. Okay guys, so after placing that, I actually go ahead and blend out to make sure there's no harsh lines. Remember how I don't like harsh lines at all. Okay guys, so after that, I went ahead and smudged out the under eyes. Just like, it's not really serious. The smudging out is not really serious, just like so small, like just smudge. Like, I don't know how I don't appreciate leaving the under eyes like that without smudging, so I just go ahead and smudge it out a little bit. Okay guys, so moving on, I started lining the eyes with my gold brush, and then with the Zaron gel liner. I actually use Zaron gel liner. I love Zaron gel liner because of how dark the liner is, so I use that brand a lot. Okay guys, so I line the eyes with that, the Zaron gel liner, and then my angled brush. So I'm taking time to actually line. I didn't really want the liner to be so thick because of her eyes. Like, she didn't have like so much space like that. Okay guys, so after that, I begin to take out the excess setting powder on the face. So before I actually do this, I make sure I dust out. Like, I dust out the fallout I have from my eyeshadow. Even though the eyeshadow I used was actually powder, still remember that some shades of it actually will fall out, and you are going to have fallout. So just make sure you take those out. Don't blend it, because if you do, remember they're going to fall on your highlights, and you don't want your highlight to be stained for any reason. So after doing that, after dusting out, I just I'm re-emphasizing on the face. Like, I'm just re-emphasizing on everything I've done on the face. So then after that, I use my nail setting spray to set the makeup. You can see how sweet the eyes is. Just a powder palette gives me the calmest and the softest of eye looks. When I want that sleek eye look, I use my my powder. Okay guys, so after that, I went ahead to use my glow to highlight the places I'm supposed to highlight. Why am I saying too much of to highlight the places I'm supposed to highlight? So after doing that, then I move over to the lips. I'm just outlining the lips right now. She actually had a full lips. I think I'm overlining the lips. I'm not supposed to actually overline the lips, but I don't think I really did overline the lips a lot. But like when somebody has full lips, try not to overline, because it's going to make the person's lips much bigger. Okay, so just, you know, lining the lips, not really doing too much right now. So, and again, so my client actually showed me the lips she wants. So I can remember, I think some years back I had did her makeup, so the lips I used on her was, I don't know, like it's just as if I didn't even line it. I just used one very natural color. It was so light, you know, so she loved that. So she told me that that's what she wanted. Again, I'm like, let's go for something else, but like this time around, it's still going to be really nude. Like it's going to be nude, no much colors in it and all that. So I started doing these lips on her. At some point I was even looking at it, I'm like, are you sure this is not bright? Are you sure it's not bright? So I was going to actually blend it out. And then at some point I remember that Oluebe, that's her name actually, she doesn't like so much colors, you know, like she loves it like mild. She loves the mild look. So I was trying my best to, you know, blend out these lips, you know, to give me that soft and calmness. So at the end of the day also, I equally know that when I put on the gloss is going to actually calm the, you know, the bright shade of these lips down. So I went ahead to put it on the gloss, and then after putting on the gloss, my client was happy, because like she looked at the lips and, you know, you can see how the lips came out. Like that bright color is no more there. It's no longer like excessively bright. Okay guys, so actually this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much. Bye.